Welcome into the DML Network and another episode of the bye week with your boy XPERT. I got 3 users on here that had to jump on and talk about their squads before we get to high stakes. And we're going to start with the team that was left standing after last season. It's the Super Bowl champ again, Mr. Addy 5, back on the bye week. What's up, Addy?
XPERT, what's going on, man?
Hey, man, another beautiful day. And Addy 5, you got a lot going on in your personal life. Is that going to get in the way of Dynasty?
That's actually funny that you asked that, and it's the first question. There are a few sim losses coming my way during high stakes, but I think that if I get to play a good number of my games, I'll be fine.
Shouldn't affect playoff potential for the Saints. But let's talk about these New Orleans Saints. And the first question, I don't even want to talk about the Super Bowl because we've done enough of that on the bye week, talking about your Super Bowl champs and all that stuff. Let's talk about the team you got on the field right now. And I want to start with your first-round draft pick, Paul Hamilton.
All right.
When you started scouting wide receivers and you knew, you were going to maybe go offensive in this draft, were you surprised that number 11 fell to you?
Yes, I'll definitely say I was. I didn't expect him to fall that low. Usually the logic that low in the draft is I just scouted a whole bunch of guys in the lower rounds because I figured all the higher talent would go. And I think that what helped was that in this particular year, certain users had needs and holes to fill. So I think that the talent fell because people drafted based off need.
So anything else in that draft that you look at and you say, okay, I got a guy that can help me during high stakes? Because you picked up a couple tight ends, you draft a quarterback, you get a cornerback. Was there anybody else in that draft class for the Saints where you look at that guy and say, okay, I can potentially see this guy helping us when it counts the most?
Oh, well, it's funny that you mentioned because my tight end Wyatt. Usually, my philosophy on drafts is I just need one, and if I can hit on one pick, then it's great, and anything after that is cake. So, after drafting Hamilton, I was pretty set. He turned out to be a star, which was a shock to me, to be honest. And then I knew I needed help at the tight end position. That was one of those positions where, in my opinion, I was lacking, and I just needed to get a particular piece in that fits the way I play to be able to balance things out. Because, as we all know, when you're playing really good users and the pressure's coming and your receivers are blanketed on the outside, everyone needs a safety blanket and a solid tight end.
Paul Hamilton's become your number one target here on this offense. Is that just you trying to get this kid built up, or is he taking over where Von Neely had, kind of that bullseye on his back for Mariota? Mariota always knew where Von was, and now it seems like him and Paul Hamilton have found that mojo together. Is Hamilton taking over that top spot, or are we just trying to get him acclimated to the New Orleans Saints system, and we'll see Neely take over here shortly?
Well, this is definitely going to be a season where Neely takes a step back, and not because he doesn't have the ability to produce, but as you know, moving into high stakes, it's about getting those pieces in play and having them ready to go. If we'll be quite honest, looking at his numbers across the board, Neely's ready. He's been ready for a little while now, so. Our goal is to work on getting Hamilton to be the best receiver he can be so that we can compete in high stakes. So, most of the targets are going to him. And it's tough when you got Neely on the other side because it's almost like pick your poison. There's been times where guys start keying on Hamilton as if I won't throw to Neely, and then it's like, oh, dang, he's on the other side. You know what I mean? So.
Will Clemens on the defensive side, he's playing right outside linebacker. Is there a reason he's not in the middle anymore?
Well, for those that don't know his stats, he's a 99 overall linebacker with 88 speed and might be a 90 Excel. But he has a 99.
92 Excel, Addy. Don't sell your
92 Excel. but he has a 99 zone, right? And I think that any user that has decent skill, user skill with linebackers, I like using lesser linebackers only because it allows Clemmings to do his thing while I do my thing. You know what I mean? Whereas if I was to keep him at middle and user him, then essentially it leaves a lower linebacker on the outside by himself. So it was kind of one of those things where it allows me to take away parts of the field myself because I know he'll take away his part of the field.
All right, let's talk about one of those lesser linebackers, and that's Tamarcus Williams. This is the kid you drafted 2 seasons ago out of Northwestern, and leading your team right now with 6 interceptions. Is that user skill, or are we going to see Tamarcus Williams be that next premier linebacker here in the Dynasty?
Oh, yeah. Again, like I said, I think Tamarcus has some really good measurables. He's big. He has decent speed. He has an 84 zone. So, you know, with a player like that being usered by a user that kind of knows what he's doing, he looks a lot better. I wouldn't say he's taking over. However, he's going to hold his own from here on out.
All right, let's look at the Saints' schedule going forward here. You came off of a win versus the Patriots right before the bye week. We won't talk about the loss to the 49ers, as that game could have gone either way. And but you come back and kind of put a beat down on the Panthers. Was that one of those, I hate taking L's, the next guy's getting it?
You know what? It would seem that way. It sucks because I don't necessarily. I'm at the point where none of these games are personal, and I'm literally just playing to develop guys. So if I can score a lot, I'm gonna score a lot. So no offense moving forward to anybody. You know, I won't be taking any timeouts with 5 seconds or anything like that. But
that's what I was going to ask you next: is when did they stop being personal? Because last season you had a personal game.
I did.
The end of it after the Cowboys.
You know what it is? Games don't usually come in personal unless it was stuff exchanged prior. However, it's very easy to turn on that competitive juice if midway you get a message from a guy by the name of HBO and he starts running his mouth.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what that was, where it was like, all right, if you want to talk, then, you know, this is what's going to happen. But, you know, games are individual, and after that, it means nothing to me outside of that. Like, that game was, okay, you're running your mouth, and this is what you're going to get. But if I see him again, it wouldn't be like I have a vendetta or anything like that. I could care less, to be honest.
Do you see a schedule on the back half, a game on the back half of this schedule where you look at and say, okay, that could be a game where we have to really bring our A game?
I'm trying to remember my schedule, and
don't worry, Addy, your boy XPERT got you. You got the Cardinals coming out to buy, the Bucks, the Seahawks, the Falcons, tight work in the Dolphins, the Jets, the Bucks again, King Vitamin and the Rams, Embro, the new user with the Eagles, the Panthers again, and the Bills.
Okay, so off the top of my head, the 3 that stood out were definitely Vitamin, because he's playing really well right now.
Yeah, he quit tanking this year. This was the first
year
he stopped tanking.
As SJ would say, Vitamin has probably orchestrated the greatest tank in the history of tanking. He has a loaded roster, and he seems to be putting everything together now. So that can be a tough game because he's a user that since I've been here, I've seen play really well.
Right.
So you can never look past the game like that. The next game I would probably say would be the new Eagles owner. Now, I know that he took an L to Sweets the other day,
right,
but Sweets is really good, and you can't ever gauge, you know, users sometimes based off games like that. Some games they're just outliers.
Right.
And I think with him, if you don't come in there focused, you can wind up on the wrong side of an L. For me, the biggest game left in the season is probably tight work. You know, I'm as honest as it comes, and people may not know this, but I do because that's just who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Tight work, I think, is the only person that has a winning record against me since he's been here. Not to say that bothers me, but
it bothers
I definitely have.
Yeah, it
I've
bothers you
taken
that
notice.
you brought it up. That you know,
Oh, no.
that you know,
You know what it
everybody's
is?
personal record versus you.
It's not that I know anyone's personal record, but I know who's up because he's the only one who is. And that includes a league with like Hot Tub wasn't even up, so like things like that I just know. Like, so he's the only user. So obviously I want to win that game. It doesn't really matter to me though, to be honest with you, because my philosophy with regular season games is that they are just that, regular season games. And they don't really mean anything in the long haul. So I would like to win that game. It's a game that's going to be a really good game. Two good users, two users that have won Super Bowls this cycle. So that should definitely be the most interesting of the bunch left.
Where does Addy 5 go in Madden 20?
Oh, dang. I really don't know because everyone may not know, but, with the wedding coming up soon, that's kind of what the reason is that I'm going to lose a lot of those games. Honeymoon and things like that. But I don't know how many games I'm going to lose because we're going to be moving, and only God knows how Wi-Fi and internet connection sets up and how fast you can get that stuff done. So I don't know how many games I'll be in the hole for. But it doesn't matter. I don't think it matters. Since I've been here, I've been the Bears, the Bengals, and now the Saints, and I think that over a period of time, the cream comes to the top, and if you're a good user, it will just prove to be that over time. No matter if you have the worst team to start the cycle or the best team.
All right, so
GM
here's
skills.
the real question: are you going to Miami at any point? As a Dolphin fan,
Nah, no.
Do it.
There's nothing there that's appealing for me. It probably sucks, but like, they're my favorite team, and the weather's cool. But like, in terms of a video game, nothing there says go to Miami unless they're there when I pick, and there's nothing on the board. But I don't see me going to Miami anytime soon.
You're gonna be a top 3 pick during high stakes draft. I'm already gonna tell you that. All right, guys. Addy 5, the New Orleans Saints, Super Bowl champs in the building, man. Appreciate you taking time out today and jumping on the bye week.
All right, thanks, man. It's a pleasure always. Take care of yourself.
Appreciate you.
Blessings to you and your family, man.
Absolutely. Same to you, Addy, and the marriage coming up, man. All right, guys. Addy 5 and the Saints, always one of the best guys that jumps on the bye week. Next up, we got a new user in the building. The Packers have been taken over by my boy Cody. Cody, what is going on, man?
Nothing much, X. How you doing?
I'm good. All right, man. You got in the blueprint. You grinded in the blueprint for a little bit. What was that like getting that text message, that DM, and says, all right, Cody, you made it. You're in the blueprint. You're in the Dynasty.
Well, I was actually on vacation in Disneyland when I got that text message, and it was better than the whole trip at Disneyland. Let's put it that way.
All right, so you're in the Dynasty. You get the Packers. What's your first impression of your Green Bay Packers?
I'm excited about the dual running back core of Colbert and Zeke. I'm a guy who likes to pound the rocks, so that should be a lot of fun.
Do you see anything on this roster where you look at and you say, okay, I got to make a change here quick?
Yeah, the secondary. It's a very slow secondary, especially the safeties. So I'd definitely like to add some speed to that secondary soon.
Okay. Do you think the quarterback on the roster is the guy that takes you into high stakes in Casey Cummings?
I do. I like his speed. He's a nice young quarterback, got the star trait. The accuracy isn't terrible. I played my first game with him. He seemed like he hit a lot of his throws I needed him to. So I think he is the future of the Green Bay Packers.
Colbert has been known to be an injury waiting to happen in the backfield. You really got an aging backfield with behind him with Elliott. Is the rookie Sheldon Achu, is he capable of stepping in if he needs to with these two veterans sidelined at some point?
He didn't get. I don't think he got a single carry in my first game. I don't have too much faith in him, but I'd definitely be willing to give him a shot. And if it doesn't work out, we might have to look to free agency or look to making a move and getting that a little bit more depth at that position.
Yeah. So After the last Packer user drafted, the OG Chris Murray and myself kind of laid into him a little bit about not going getting a wide receiver. When you look at this wide receiver core, especially a guy, that I know that likes to throw the ball around, do you feel like you have a weapon in this team outside of Juju?
I do. I know he's older, but Equanimous St. Brown got decent speed. He's got good height, decent, catch and traffic and jump. I think if I need to throw him a jump ball or at some point go to him, I think he could be a nice step up from Adams and Diggs because they're both aging. And they're both getting slower with that old age.
Yeah. Are the Packers a contender in the NFC North? Now that Cody is taking over, I know you've never been a guy since I've known you, Cody. You've never been a guy to toot your own horn or, say I'm the best at this. Usually just that quiet guy standing in the background, help with content when you can and then play your games. But I'm going to ask you to step out of your comfort zone and let us know. Are the Packers a team that teams in the Dynasty should look at and say, when that team is on the schedule, we better be ready?
They shouldn't underestimate them, that's for sure. I think we will be a contender this year. We'll make a move for the playoffs, and we'll see what happens in the playoffs.
All right, so you have a team right now. It's 3-2. You got the Panthers coming up. You got the Giants, and then you got a bye week. Are you a user that likes to scout the opponent, or you just go in the game and play your style of football?
I'm going to play my style of football either way, and it's cost me before, and it's led me to a lot of wins as well. It can do either. But I will, if I have the time, look to scout if I have that time available.
All right, man. What's the one thing you're most nervous about being in a dynasty? Because this is the big league, so eyeballs are on you. Rules are black and white. But when you get the call up, what's the one thing that you worry about that dynasty scares you?
I would say I just want to do good by the league and make the league look good. A lot of the rules are similar to Blueprint. There's a few differences here and there. The one rule that always makes it difficult to play defense is not being able to move your guys and only being able to move your one guy you're on. But I think we'll adapt. I adapted in Blueprint. We went 15-1 last year with the Saints, and I think we'll do that as well with the Packers as well.
All right, man. First off, man, appreciate you jumping on the show. As soon as I reached out to you, you were all for it. Of course, you've been supporting your boy XPERT for a long time, but congratulations on getting the call up here to the Dynasty. For any Blueprint guy that's listening, Cody, what advice would you give a Blueprint guy to have this opportunity to join the Dynasty?
Be a credible user. Follow the rules. Be active. Don't be disrespectful to people, and just keep improving and making efforts to get yourself better as a Madden player. Be in better competition.
No doubt. All right, Cody, man. Appreciate you jumping on the bye week with your boy XPERT. I'm going to let you get back to your day, man. Appreciate you.
Hey, thank you, X. Have a good one.
All right, guys. That is Cody, the new user here for the Green Bay Packers. They call him the BD Weapon 20. All right, last one on the show. And this is the reason we had the bye week this week. It's my homie. It's none other than half of the law firm. You got the first half at Addy 5. We're gonna end the show with the other half. Mr. KP and those Chiefs. What's up, KP?
What's good, XPERT? How you doing, fam?
Man, I am good. Glad you made it home safe, on time, ready to go for the show. I know that traffic sucks, man. How long are you driving every single day to get back to the house?
About 45 minutes on a good day, an hour 15 on a bad.
That sucks, dude. That just outright sucks.
Absolute trash. The only thing that makes it better is I only work at the dental office Monday through Wednesday and every other Thursday. So tomorrow's my Friday this week, so I ain't worried about it.
That's always a good thing. All right, let's talk Kansas City Chiefs for a little bit. You make it all the way to the Super Bowl last year off of a glitch against the Jaguars.
Mm-hmm.
And you meet the other half of the law firm. First off, you know Addy 5, one of the top guys in the league. You knew that going in. Did you feel like, I know this guy's game, I'm still going to be able to compete in this Super Bowl?
Absolutely. There was no doubt in my mind that it was going to be a good game.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be a one-possession game in my head. And I knew he was coming for my neck, because what some of y'all don't know is I'm in another league, and I faced him in the Super Bowl, and I beat him in the first season. And so this one just stung, because I knew he was waiting on it, and he's very patient. And I just know he just wants to, and so, and the fact that I have never lost a Dynasty Super Bowl, I was 4-0 in the Super Bowl in Dynasty before this.
Yeah.
So every time I made it, I had won it. So I'm like, if I get there, I'm winning it again. Like, I know it. Like, there was no doubt in my mind I was getting another banner. And y'all giving out the trophies now. So, like, I was really motivated. And it took me like a good 48 hours to get over that one. That was tough.
Yeah,
that was tough.
You played your tail off, though. And so let's talk about this roster, because you're trying to get back to the promised land this year, trying to get back to the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes just playing lights out for you. You've developed this young quarterback when you took him over. Now he's a veteran. He's 29 years old. He's going to finish the cycle for you at quarterback. Do you think Patrick Mahomes is one of the reasons you've been so successful with the Chiefs?
It definitely makes it easier. Having consistency at quarterback, not having to build your quarterback, and knowing that he's reliable. But funny story, I actually tried to trade him week 1.
Of this year?
Yep.
You should have let me up. I'd have took it. You should have let me know. I would have loved to take Patrick Mahomes off of your hands and not have him in Kansas City. Now, he's struggling this year for you.
Terribly. Oh, my God.
12 interceptions. In my HBO voice, that's some bum stuff right there.
Right?
What is going on with Patrick Mahomes this year, though?
I mean, he wasn't bum enough to lose to HBO, but it's definitely some bum stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I let a bum stick into a game like that. So that was frustrating. If you look at his last 2 seasons, each year he had 17 total interceptions. This year, we 5 games in and we're at 12, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? So I think we're going to lean on Geis for a little bit and just help him iron out whatever he got going on.
All right, I'm glad you brought up Darius Geis. That's funny that you say lean on a running back, because that is not your MO. You are not a lean on the guy in the backfield kind of guy. Matter of fact, so much so that your number 2 and number 3 leading rushers are a quarterback and a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you need to find a running game so you can balance out this offense?
Not if I have 6 wide receivers. If you look at my roster, I try and at least have 5 starters. That way, if somebody goes down, I know I can still go 4 wide, and I'm good to go. But having good run game that's when I play my best. Is when I'm balanced, because everyone's just going to back up their cornerbacks on Tyreek. Screens are somewhat of a glitch on this because of the way they work. You almost always lose yards, except for bubble screens. Free chicken for y'all. But other than that, like, the screen game isn't that successful in this one, so the wide receiver space don't really help me. So having a run game, making people having to respect it and not having to have all their DBs back off would be nice. Believe it or not, I have been in the lab just working on my run game. It's frustrating because I'm not a YouTube person. I'm going to literally dig through my playbook and I'm going to find something that's already there. We got high stakes. I'm not going to be able to use a custom playbook. Right. So I'm literally digging into the playbook, seeing what's going to be in that playbook and like what will work for me. And so it's been challenging, but I think we have a couple things up our sleeve.
Darius Geis, not only your leading rusher, but he's also your leading wide receiver. How is that possible that a KP offense, who's not known to run the football, doesn't have a wide receiver as the top receiving threat for this Kansas City Chiefs? Is that why the Chiefs are struggling?
No. So if you look at it, we're just spreading the ball around because everybody loves to focus on Tyreek. So, I love going to Foster, Winners, Searcy. There's so many pass catching options. You can shut down 1, but you sure can't shut down 5. I'll tell you that right now. And so somebody is going to be open. So, I mean, we got, 5 wide receivers over 10 receptions?
Yep.
So, I mean, it's not too bad, though he's leading in receptions. He's not leading in yards. We got 3 receivers over 200 yards. So, I mean, it's literally just spreading the love, just trying to see who's open.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned Foster's name. All right, James Foster, you get a Stretch Armstrong award for this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Is he still a stretch arm caliber wide receiver, or have you proven that James Foster at 6'5", 225, now at 91 speed, is a threat for the Kansas City Chiefs?
So he was drafted at 91 speed. He hasn't gone up. He is up to a star development, and last year he had over 1,000 yards receiving. So, I mean, call it a stretch if you want, but, I mean, he's doing his thing. I mean, as I said, everyone's like, oh, he's not producing enough for you. And I was like, he's just buried on the depth chart. Once I get him not buried on the depth chart, he's going to do all right. Yep. And then he did 853 yards. Then the next year, 876. Next year, 1,000 with 10 touchdowns. So it's like, all right, maybe he wasn't lying.
All right, let's move to the defense side of football for this Chiefs. You trade for Shaquem Griffin. Is that the greatest trade you've made in Madden 19?
Facts. Without a doubt. It comes very close to getting Foye Sade from the Falcons, who I don't know why they traded him, but I appreciate you, Dion, because you know I love speedy linebackers. It really makes my system. But getting Shaquem for a player I didn't want or use because it was a running back, I gave him Kareem Hunt, and I got back Shaquem and Rashard Penny. And so I was like, yeah, that's a no-brainer. If I can get a speedy linebacker, and even if he, gets slower, what's he going to be? 88 speed for high stakes?
Yep.
That's fine. That's fine.
Is there a spot on this defense that you look at and say, okay, I got to improve it this year?
1,000%. Same place I've been looking the last 3 drafts that I don't like to reach on, but I haven't been able to improve it. So maybe I have some regrets for not reaching, and that would be my secondary.
And let's talk about this secondary. Do you just feel like it's just aging, or you just don't have the talent on this roster? Because you have Terrell Edmonds, who's in his 7th year, still playing very well for you. You got Branch Nichols. He's only in his 3rd season, but he's 27 years old. He's still playing well for you. And then you look at your corners. Tremon Smith, you got Montre, and Tremon is still at 93 speed, 96 excel. It's not like these guys have regressed much this cycle. But do you feel like maybe at high stakes you got to find another piece to go back in that back 4?
Absolutely. So I'm not worried about my safeties. I think safeties are strong. Specifically, it's my corners. My corners are very, very weak. I rely on my pressure in order to get these turnovers. If I'm not getting pressure, if I'm not stopping the run, and it's a struggle. Honestly, I look at this secondary and I don't know how I'm 5-0, but I'm very appreciative to be where we're at.
All right, let's look at your schedule for the rest of this season. As the Chiefs look to continue his winning ways here in the Dynasty. You've had some close games. You talked about the game versus the Cowboys where you let him stay in it, but you had a close game with the Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
You had 2 close ones with the Chargers. Both of those, you've had 4 games out of the 5 you won that could have gone either way.
Yeah.
This Chiefs team could easily be 1-4 going into this bye week.
Exactly.
So let's talk about this back half of the schedule. So you got the Titans first coming up, and so that's a game you feel right now that's a W for you. Then you get to see tight work in the Dolphins. Is the Titans game a trap game for the Chiefs, knowing tight work comes after that?
Yes. Absolutely.
So how does KP not fall into the darkness trap?
I got to do what I try to do most of the time. I don't look ahead in my schedule. So literally the only time I looked ahead, as soon as you said, let's look at your schedule, I'm like, oh, all right. Other than that, I just see what's up on the things to do screen, and I try and stay away from the schedule because then I'm like, oh, okay, I gotta win this because we got this coming, or I gotta make sure my team's healthy for this team. Like, nah, I can't. I really can't. I mean, maybe once I get to 10 wins and I know I'm making the playoffs, I can be like, all right, who can rest so we can be ready. But until then, having Andy and Tone, they're active, man. Like, there's never a year they're not competing for the playoffs.
Right.
And so, literally, there was a year that I think we had a 10-win team not make the playoffs.
Right.
And so I was like, dang. So you never know when somebody's going to hit a heat streak. So you just got to make sure you just focus one game at a time and make sure you get those W's.
Yeah, and Andy has only lost to you this year. He is undefeated except versus.
Wow.
Let me look. I want to make sure. Yeah, he is undefeated except against KP.
Sorry, man.
He put it down on the Cowboys. He beat the Redskins and he's beating the Colts. He has only lost to the Chiefs. He hates seeing that red team on his schedule. All right, man, you get a very special occasion happens this year, and it only happens once every 4 years. You get to play the Jaguars in Jacksonville, which means, I'm sorry, at home in Kansas City.
Oh, even better.
Which means you have an opportunity to live stream that game and be live on XPERT's Corner on Facebook. Does that add any pressure to KP and the Chiefs, knowing that hundreds of people will be watching this game?
Nope, because I'm going to be the only one looking at my TV. I love to watch the stream afterwards just to see, like, I love watching people's streams when they play me, whether I win or lose. It's fun to see people's reactions to plays, especially with all the Madden BS that we have. There's BS that's going to go my way. I know that, and I know there's going to be BS that goes your way. And I think I wake up Melina more than once with me yelling bullshit when plays have. I think my neighbors hear me, and they're like, are they frightened? No, just mad. Just mad.
Yeah, you and I have